Right now, the community comes together to honor the life of one of the victims from Monday's tragic school shooting. Also, a vigil for all faiths and backgrounds brings the community together for a night of reflection and gratitude. We'll take you there.
A deal is reached to avoid a government shutdown. I'm Cristian Benavides in West Palm Beach, Florida, with what President-elect Donald Trump asked for that Congress didn't approve.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. It's been just 5 days since innocent lives were taken at the Abundant Life Christian School shooting. Today was Ruby Patricia Vergara's funeral, a 14-year-old freshman at ALCS. We are respecting the family's wishes by only using the provided live stream footage from today's service. Our Ellie La Liberté shows us how her loved ones remember her.
Like Ruby would be singing that sweet harmony with us.
Ruby Patricia Vergara, described by her loved ones as a gift, as the 14-year-old is remembered.
This week, our family had waves of emotion, heartache to joyous laughter about the dumbest things.
She had an incredible ability to bring joy, humor, and thoughtfulness to the people she cared for.
Ruby, an avid reader and lover of art and music.
Many people have received personal birthday cards created by Ruby using her digital art skills. She started playing piano at the age of 8, and she has been able to listen to a song and then play the notes she heard. She sang like an angel and would harmonize with anyone.
The freshman at Abundant Life Christian School was a daughter, niece, student, and friend.
She never wanted to be in the spotlight, and she would kindly probably be horrified to see that there's this many people in the church just for her.
But friends and family, filling City Church in Madison, coming together in their faith.
John chapter 1, verse 5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it.
Sharing stories of their time with Ruby.
Ruby was a light in this world, a reminder of what it means to love, create, and cherish those around us. And while the time we had with her feels way too short, Ruby's gifts will live on in her art, her music, her friendships, and in the way she touched every life she encountered.
Remembering and honoring a life lost too soon.
We'll carry you in our hearts forever.
Ellie, thank you. Ruby's uncle spoke today asking staff at ALCS not to blame themselves. He also said the family holds no bitterness or unforgiveness to the 15-year-old shooter and her family. Funeral services for Aaron and Michelle West, the teacher killed in Monday's shooting, will be this upcoming Monday at Doxa Church in Madison. We here in News 3 continue to send our thoughts and our prayers to those impacted. Now let's get a look at our first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
Yeah, it's chilly outside the studio right now as we're sitting underneath clear to mostly clear conditions. It's kind of our last cold night, if you will. Temperatures are really going to start to climb pretty much from here on out. Probably a lot of us weren't up when the winter solstice occurred at 3:21 this morning, but it officially kicks off the winter season. It's the shortest day in terms of daylight hours and the longest night of the year. So from here on out, though, our daytime hours, the amount of sunlight we get per day increases until the summer solstice next year in June. We're beginning to see warmer air start to creep in across western parts of Wisconsin and into Minnesota and Iowa thanks to southerly winds. So that warmer air is going to be moving in as we go into your Sunday. But Monday, we see a little clipper system move on through the area, bringing us a rain-snow mix, especially further east in the morning, but then into the afternoon that maybe slides back into more of central parts of the coverage area. Maybe a little bit of snow as well, but I really wouldn't count on it. Probably less than an inch for most of us south of at least Camp Douglas, maybe even south of we're looking at another chilly night, but we're tracking a warm up and of course talking about Christmas Eve and Christmas in just a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, we'll see you then. A silver alert was issued by the Dane County Sheriff's Office for Thomas James White, a 70-year-old man from Middleton. White was last seen Friday around 1 p.m. at Edelberry Road. The latest footage of White was when he left his residence in his black 2011 Toyota 4Runner with his Wisconsin license plate number 905ZTU early Friday afternoon. He has memory issues and suffers from high blood pressure, and it is believed that he does not have his medication with him nor cell phone, according to police. Madison's police chief Sean Barnes is headed to Seattle, Washington. The mayor of Seattle making that announcement Friday. This all coming during a challenging time for Madison in the wake of this week's deadly school shooting. Barnes addressed all of that in a video, saying his focus is still with Madison for now.
Our officers and community are now navigating the emotional aftermath of this tragedy. My immediate responsibility is to support my officers as we come to terms with this devastating event. I look forward to joining you in person next month to learn more about the Seattle Police Department and our commitment to safety and service.
Barnes has led the Madison Police Department since 2021. His appointment in Seattle will still need to be confirmed by Seattle City Council. As far as who will take over his position here in Madison, the city's Police and Fire Commission will choose his successor. It will also choose who will step in as interim chief during the search process. And following this news, we sat down exclusively with Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway in her first interview since Barnes' departure was announced. It's been a big week for her as well. First dealing with that shooting on Monday, and now the turnover at the top of the Madison Police Force. Rhodes Conway says Barnes has delayed his leaving of the Madison Police Department until February to help with the transition.
He will obviously transition everything that needs to be transitioned during the month of January. We have an incredibly professional team at the Madison Police Department, and I have a lot of faith in their ability to provide continuity to the investigation and do whatever needs to be done.
You can see more from our interview with Rhodes Conway tomorrow morning at 10:30 on For the Record. And you can also see the full interview online right now at channel3000.com under the For the Record tab. And now to an update in Jefferson County. State regulators are closely monitoring the cleanup of a major oil spill involving roughly 70,000 gallons from Enbridge's Line 6 pipeline. The spill was reported at a pump station in Oakland and is the largest in Wisconsin in over a decade. The leak was due to a degraded gasket at the pump station. Regulators report that nearby wetlands and private wells have not been contaminated. Enbridge has already paid nearly $1.1 million to clear about 60% of the spill. Tonight, multiple faith communities came together for an interfaith vigil. In observance of the longest night, the event is to help those who may be struggling during Advent and the Christmas season. Saturday's service had an emphasis for those who have been impacted by the war in Gaza.
I'm glad that in Madison here we have groups that are, intersections of religions, races, nationalities, national origins, educations, and all of them coming together in order to say with one voice that we are standing against genocide.
Night is supposed to be a time of safety with your family where you can sleep and rest, and people are living in terror and in fear.
The war in Gaza is currently in its 14th month. And Santa is making some early visits to Wisconsin ahead of Christmas. Earlier today at Bessie's Diner in Janesville, they welcomed Santa for a holiday breakfast bash. Families were able to enjoy an all-you-can-eat breakfast from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., bringing in the holiday cheer.
We opened at 7 a.m. and we had people right here when we were ready to open, and we're probably a little bit over 400 people today, and I'm hoping for an even bigger turnout tomorrow. Anyone from little kids, 2 years old, all the way to couples coming in to take their picture with Santa. And he's been around the dining room as well, and his plane's right outside, parked outside the window.
A portion of the proceeds go towards the Rock County Cancer Coalition. The Affordable Care Act is on track for another year of record signups. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services said Friday that 16.6 million people enrolled for coverage beginning January 1st, 2025. That's a record for full-year coverage signups. CMS reports 2 million people are new signups. Enrollment has hit record highs every year of the Biden administration after falling under the Trump administration. In 2024, a total of 21.3 Americans enrolled in the Affordable Care Act coverage. Open enrollment will continue through January 15th. If you enroll now, your coverage will begin in February of 2025. President Biden signed a funding bill into law today to prevent a government shutdown just before the holidays. CBS's Christian Benavides reports from West Palm Beach, Florida.
With President Biden's signature Saturday, a bill that averts a federal government shutdown became law. Congress approved a temporary funding plan just after the midnight deadline.
The bill is passed.
Late Friday, the House passed the measure following two failed efforts that sent GOP lawmakers scurrying for a deal.
I was in constant contact with President Trump throughout this process. This is a good outcome for the country. I think he certainly is happy about this outcome as well.
An earlier bipartisan agreement fell apart after President-elect Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk railed against it.
I think the Republicans have learned if you make a deal, you keep your deal.
For the president-elect, this week's battle over government spending was an early test of his control over GOP lawmakers. The final agreement did not include an increase in the government's borrowing limit, a key demand Trump threw into the mix this week.
This would have been a very unfortunate time to add the debt limit to any agreement, to any CR, and I'm very glad we didn't.
We will continue to spend money at a pace such that we will accumulate about $2 trillion in debt each year.
The deal funds the government at current levels through March 14th and provides $100 billion in disaster aid and $10 billion in agricultural assistance to farmers. Christian Benavides, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
GOP leaders said the debt ceiling would be debated as part of a tax and border package in the new year. And still to come on News 3 now at 10. Blaze Keller returns with a complete look of your first one forecast. Plus, we head to the Dane County Regional Airport to see what state Wisconsin travelers visit the most during the holiday season. And staying in the spirit of holiday travel, we take a look at the latest from AAA. That and more after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Holiday travel is underway right now. Representatives at Dane County's regional airport say today is the busiest travel day in all of Wisconsin. Tanisha Shaw talked to travelers about the most visited destination and what you should know before hitting the skyways.
Dane County's regional airport is busy with families waiting to get to their holiday destinations. Where are you traveling?
Boise, Idaho. Oh, but first we need to get to Minneapolis to go there.
Oh, so you have a layover?
Traveling back home to Hampton, Virginia.
A director at the airport said that during this time of the year, one sunny state is the most popular.
I'm landing in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to Palm Bay, Florida.
Not shocking, but this time of year, Florida is really popular for Wisconsinites to fly to. So we see Orlando, Fort Myers, Miami. Those are some of our most popular destinations for December, January, February.
No matter where you're traveling, it's important to be prepared.
Definitely seen an increase in passengers, really starting all the way back in Wednesday was the pickup. And today it also peaks around 4,000 passengers today, and then it trails off all the way until next Wednesday.
When packing for holiday travel, make sure you check TSA guidelines so your bag can get there on time and without any interruptions.
It's always a good reminder for passengers that are traveling for the gift-giving holidays. If you're traveling with gifts, don't wrap them. TSA needs to inspect everything that goes on the plane, so if it's wrapped, they're going to have to unwrap it. So just skip the step, wrap it when you get there, and it'll be a smooth process for everybody.
So far, the delays have been minimal compared to recent years, but it's always important to arrive early.
If your flight is delayed, just roll with it. We'll get you there, and pack your patience. Bring extra time. Take extra time on your way to the airport so you have plenty of time to park and get through security, and it's much less stressful that way.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Dane County Regional Airport told us that they have seen an average of 1,000 or more passengers a day compared to this time a year ago. And starting today through January 1st, AAA is predicting that over 2 million people will travel 50 or more miles from home. That's 76,000 more travelers than the previous record set last year. AAA says if you're heading to any major city, leave early.
If you're heading through any major metropolitan areas or places where multiple interstates kind of converge, you're going to see a lot more congestion. You're also going to see less road construction. Typically, DOT will be suspending road construction, and we're well outside of the typical road construction season anyway. But you do want to head out early. The earlier you can go on any given day is going to be better.
AAA says if you plan on drinking over the holidays, it will be activating its free tow-to-go program starting Christmas Eve all the way through New Year's Day, all to prevent drunk driving accidents. Now let's get a full look of your First One forecast. Blaze Keller joins us now. Blaze.
And we are set for really our last, I would say, cold night compared to where our nights are going to be in the upcoming week. And that's again because of the fresh snow and clear skies. Even though our winds are out of the south, that warm air doesn't really arrive until tomorrow. And from there on out, Sunday through the rest of our extended forecast, we're going to be warmer than average. A wintry mix does arrive on Monday, and I think that's really going to be our best chance for any real snow before Christmas Eve and Christmas. And as we talked about at the top of the newscast, it's not a whole lot in the way of snow for us here across central and southern parts of Wisconsin. It's going to be breezy on Sunday, maybe a flurry or two. It's just that time of year where, again, cloud cover, maybe a little bit of southerly winds, you get just a flurry or two. But if we do see any, it's not going to be any measurable snow. That's going to be out ahead of our next low pressure system that is set to bring us that wintry mix as we head really into the afternoon hours. You're seeing the pinks, the greens, the blues, indicating that our temperatures are kind of right around freezing here across the News 3 Now forecast area. More of that measurable snow is probably going to be north of Dane County, north of the Dells. And as this low pressure system weakens, that snow chance is really going to fall apart until a high pressure system moves on in for our Tuesday, of course, being Christmas Eve. So we are going to stay quiet here across not only Wisconsin, but the Midwest. Maybe a few flurries on Christmas Eve as well, but it's not looking too promising in the way of actually any measurable snow. Low 30s on Christmas Eve. We're back into the mid 30s on Christmas. That light rain snow mix returning as we head really into the afternoon hours, because starting later Christmas is when we open up the Gulf of Mexico, and we're going to see near daily rain chances beginning later Christmas night into Thursday all the way through that following weekend. As that warmer air continues to sit over us, the confidence level continues to be at about 100% from the 27th through the 31st that we're going to stay warmer than average. Whether that's by a degree or several, we'll have to take it day by day, but that could also mean during the nighttime hours as well. And then as we look into the start of the new year, we don't really see the confidence level as high, but we're still trending anywhere between 60 to 70% chance of sitting warmer than average. So watch as this warmer air really surges northwards. We're looking at the layer in the atmosphere about a mile above the surface. This is a really good layer for us as meteorologists to see where the warm air or cold air is moving into. We call that warm air or cold air advection. So we're going to watch as a lot of this warm air that would otherwise be trapped off to our south moves northwards as we go into the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday after Christmas. It's only maybe into the middle of that next week that we start to see the return of cooler air, those greens, those yellows, as far north as the Hudson Bay. So that just shows you how far north our polar jet is in the days after Christmas. And today is the start of winter, and it's certainly not going to feel like it as we look into this extended forecast. And again, our overnight lows should be in the teens, and there are no teen overnight lows in our 7 or 10-day forecast. In fact, our overnight lows might be in the upper 30s Thursday night through that Saturday of that following weekend, with rain chances really picking up there Friday and Saturday of next week.
So as for Christmas, it's going to take a Christmas miracle for us to have a white Christmas, it sounds like?
Yeah, I think we will. You know, we got a decent amount of snow across the area. If we can slowly chip away at it, and with the cloud cover, it will help. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that the snow that we got Thursday and Friday will be enough to give us a white Christmas this year.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. And coming up in sports, a Big 8 basketball battle that featured one of the top scorers in the state. Andrew has the highlights next on News 3 Now.
Lets it fly. Still trying to get that three-point shot consistent, but guess who's got
The Bucks salvaged their 2-8 start to the season by going on a heater, winning 12 of 15 and winning the NBA Cup. They were back in Milwaukee for the first time since winning the Cup today. No Giannis, no Dame Lillard, no problem for Milwaukee. Unveiled their NBA Cup banner, playing the Wizards, and Bobby Portis, he was dialed in, lines up the trifecta and connects on the deep ball. Big Bob was on a burner, finished with 34 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And then later, Chris Middleton getting involved. Of course, you know he had to without Giannis and Dame there. He got his, finished with 18, and the Bucks bench and role players whiz past the Washington Wizards. They get back in the win column, 112-101. High school boys hoops, La Follette at Sun Prairie East, two of the top teams in the Big 8, but Sun Prairie East, Chris Davis Jr., he's one of the best players in the state. His 40.8 points per game last year were the second most in the country, and his Cardinals battling a La Follette team that means business. Reese Jordan finishes the tough layup and speaks his truth, but eventually Davis Jr. was just too much. Gets the tough three to fall. The Arkansas State commit was just going crazy today. Had a great game, did number 4, and his Cardinals win it 125-92. The Packers are 10-4 and, barring something crazy, are looking like a lock for the playoffs. Meanwhile, the team that they're playing on Monday night, not so much. The Saints are 3-9 since their 2-0 start to the season, and you could say are maybe afraid of the frozen tundra. Their quarterback Spencer Rattler was reportedly running plays in a walk-in freezer to prepare for Lambeau, but Matt LaFleur, he's not taking New Orleans quite so easy.
The Saints have done an outstanding job. Teams are having a hard time moving the ball and having a hard time scoring points. And a lot of these games have been close. I mean, they've lost 4 games by 3 points or less. So you're talking about the difference. I mean, that's a very minimal difference. And they could easily be sitting at 9-5 right now. So I think our guys realize what type of team is coming in here and what's at stake.
To college football, where this party in the portal is getting a little bit too crowded. After just 1 year at Wisconsin, former 4-star quarterback Mabry Mettauer entered the transfer portal this evening. That means that the Badgers' first, second, and third string quarterbacks are now in the portal. And we finish here with some devastating news from the baseball world. MLB's stolen base king, Ricky Henderson, he died today at the age of 65. He's baseball's all-time leader in stolen bases and in runs scored. Ricky played 25 seasons in the bigs and, of course, was a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was one of the best to do it on and off the field. We'll be right back.
All right, Blaze, a little chilly today. What should we expect before we head on out?
Certainly warmer compared to where we were today as we go into your Sunday. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy. It's going to be breezy out of the south, but we do look to stay quiet for your Christmas Eve and Christmas after a rain-snow mix Monday, and then again to end your Christmas Day.
Sounds good. We'll see you all back here.